Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Friday the 2nd of December 2022. Thanks for joining me. I want to use the Universal Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what these cards have to say. This is one of the originals. There are a couple of decks, the Universal Tarot, the Radiant Rider-Waite deck, then the original Rider-Waite Smith deck. Those are all great cards to learn the tarot with because they all follow the same kind of structures and guidelines, like the Queen of Wands here, for instance. So if you can read one of those decks, you'll be able to read pretty much every other deck, excluding the Thoth Tarot. That's based on a different system. So let me choose 3 cards here to see what the day is all about and what energy you'll be working with. Okay, Friday the 2nd. Friday the 2nd. First card is Death in Reverse, which is a good sign. Death in Reverse is a new beginning, a new life, a new cycle starts. Then we have the Page of Cups. Okay. And finally, the Two of Swords. Wow. Okay. So let's see what the cards are trying to say here. The 13th card in the Major Arcana being upside down is a good sign, because when it's this way around, it's this force that comes into your life, which you can't really argue with. You can see that between these two. You can't really reason with death. Death has its own agenda, its own time frame. And in the tarot, death doesn't represent physical death. It represents the end of a cycle, because it's part of the Major Arcana. The Major Arcana, they talk about fundamental life themes, like the Lovers, the Hanged Man, death. So an ending to something that we didn't want. We've all experienced that. Same way we've all experienced something new happening that we could have never planned for, and that just kind of takes on a life of its own and inserts itself into our lives. It's a very interesting experience, because it shows you that your will and your plan for your life isn't the only one out there. There are other forces at work. So when the Death card appears, it signals that something's coming to an end and something is beginning. So it's the cyclical nature of the Death card. With it being in reverse, it kind of signals sunrise, a whole new life, something that you are in control over. You don't have to argue with it. You're the boss. And you get to say, this is the direction I want to now move in. And it's not just a trivial little thing. It's this fundamental core sense that you feel in your bones that it's time for something new. It's time to change your life somehow. And it's amazing, because there are things which keep us stuck that can keep us stuck for years and years and years. Like addiction, like oppressive relationships, like jobs where you feel if you lose the benefits, then everything else is going to be lost. You know, these kind of things we can often get stuck in, because it's like, which way do I go? It's the confusion that keeps us stuck. So when the Death card in reverse comes like this, it's that fundamental knowledge that I've tried to make this work. It's not working. What can I do instead? So it's major acceptance. And even though those things can keep us stuck for years, like addiction, the ending is often so quick, it's unbelievable. Like something happens, or the person has some sort of epiphany or change of heart or something, and what's been done for the last 2 or 5 or 10 years is now no longer appropriate, and it goes poof. I mean, it takes work and all these other things, but you know, that's the thing I've experienced and seen. And it's just like, wow, if only I'd had that information earlier, I wouldn't have had to waste all that time. So this is so unbelievably good. I really feel it so strongly today. The next card is the Page of Cups. The Page is a court card, and out of the court cards, he's the most inexperienced. Cups is water. Water is connection with your higher self, spirituality, love and romance when it comes to other people, family connections, connections with places that you love and adore. But the Page doesn't really know how to maintain any of these things. He also doesn't know how to dress. I think the dress is kind of a symbol that this is a person who's emotionally somewhat clueless. The great thing about the pages is that they're willing to learn. They don't really know that they're incompetent or that they don't have a clue. They're just willing to learn. So it's that place where we all start when we have a desire to understand or learn something that we obviously don't understand it because we haven't studied it. The thing I'm getting with these two is that the certainty, I need this, I want to make a fresh start, I want a new life, is going to fill you with fear and uncertainty. The same way the Knave of Chalices would be nervous and anxious if he has to go up to someone that he, likes, that he wants to ask out for a date. He hasn't done it before, so there's anxiety and tension and a sense of not being at ease. So if that comes up, that's a normal part of this package. Whenever you want to make changes, even if you are super clear on it and you feel the certainty, at the very most core level, when it then comes to actually sorting out the details and getting the paperwork together or whatever it may be, it's going to feel daunting because you've never done it before. Plus with this, there may even be an exit of an old situation that you now no longer want and the start of something new. So if there are feelings of anxiety or uncertainty, please don't let those put you off. If those come up, in fact, it means you're on the right track, and please keep pushing. Because the final card, the Two of Swords, you can see that this is a person who has no idea what's going on. She's got a blindfold on. She's holding these swords close to her chest to protect from some sort of imagined threat that isn't even there. The moon's above her, so fear, uncertainty, all this water, she's trying to figure things out through her feelings, but really she's not in a great position to understand anything because obviously her senses have been blocked. So with this new beginning, you're going to take, the anxiety could be there, mainly because you've never done this before and you haven't done all the official stuff or you haven't taken the steps. So they seem daunting and it seems like you're going in blind and you have to just go via your feelings. So let the anxiety or the uncertainty motivate you to find out more, to get all the information that you require. And that then is going to signal a meeting of water, all this water, and swords, which is air. So by listening to the certainty within, ignoring or letting the anxiety kind of motivate you or push you, you'll gain lots of information and insight. The experience you gain on this day is priceless because that's what then allows you to take the blindfold off and to see the direction you're going in a much more informed, competent way. So it's really a combination of great influences that say you're going to make a big shift in direction in your life, and that shift is going to feel much more meaningful and authentic to who you are. So the outside world and the inner world are kind of matching up, and it's down to you deciding that I want to make changes. So it's super empowering. Number-wise, we've got 13 and 1 is 14. 14 and 2 is 16. 1 and 6 is 7. And 7 in numerology is the mind and creativity. So get creative with how your life could look and what you are now certain about. What is it that you want to pursue? Because you have a certain idea of what that could create for you. On this day, please inform yourself and get ready to start something new, because that's the direction you're being pushed in, and it's there for a reason. The reason being you can actually implement all these changes and go in a different direction. Okay. So I hope you have a great day. If you have any questions about your life purpose or career or family relationships or finance or moving, if you want to look at what's coming up in future or which locations on planet Earth do work for you and which are going to be more problematic, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. I use astrology, the tarot, and numerology in my personal readings. So if you have any questions at all, please do get in touch with me. And if you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.